so that takes us to personnel consent agenda, which we're going to break it out this morning. May I have a motion for 8.1 through 8.5, and then 8.7 through 8.14?
So moved.
Second. Second.
Good morning. And I know that you are going to vote on another item
Yes.
within the consent separately, but my report is encompassing the whole thing.
Thank you.
So good morning and thank you, President Davidson, members of the board, Dr. Kellogg and Mrs. Marshall. I'd like to present to you for your consideration today's personnel consent agenda. The items in today's agenda mostly represent our regular action items with regards to resignations, hirings, changes of assignments, contract status changes. There are a few items, however, we would like to highlight in this morning's agenda. The board will see that the consent agenda that you are being asked to approve is a little lighter than it's been in the past few meetings. Things have really started to slow down as we have ended the month of June. And as of right now, we have 16 licensed vacancies left to fill, and that's significantly lower than what we've done in the last month or so. So we're making a lot of progress there. This morning, we are asking the board to consider and approve the following. There's only one new and one amended classified resignation for the board to consider, and two new and one amended license resignation, which is down significantly. And we have one administrative resignation, and we'd like to wish outgoing Westerville South Assistant Principal Kiev Lamar the best of luck in his new role as principal at one of the Gahanna Middle Schools. And so we wish Kiev the best of luck. We have two administrative contract status changes that we are excited for the board to consider. Carrie Dennis will move from her role as the Director of Human Resources and Food Service to become the next Executive Director of Human Resources. And I can tell you that Carrie has been an invaluable partner for me, and she will do a fantastic job. Kaylee Baker will transition from being the district's gifted coordinator, and she will become the next principal at Hanby Elementary, and we are excited for both of these very, very talented leaders and what they will do for our district. We also have two educators, and you will see in the contract status changes, that are entering into a job share agreement, so their FTE will go from one to sharing a half each. The changes of assignment are minimal, with only 3 classified and 4 licensed changes of assignments. The variety of one-time pay the board has in front of you that you are asked to approve shows the variety and depth of training that our teachers are doing over the course of this summer. We welcome to our district 2 non-substitute classified employees and 15 licensed positions. Included in our recommendations for hire are 4 new administrators to our district. Maggie Anderson will become the new assistant principal at Huber Ridge Elementary School. Anthony Arrington will become the new assistant principal at Westerville South High School. Vicki Cumberlander will be, for the 22-23 school year, new assistant principal sharing between Walnut and Heritage. And then in the 23-24 school year, will transition to become the first assistant principal at Minerva Park Elementary School. And Mark Cooper will become the new director of Human Resources, and Mark is with us today. And we're excited to have Mark join our team. The board is also asked to approve the substitute rates of pay for our classified employees for this year. And the board will also see a memorandum of agreement with the Westerville Education support staff to continue through grant funding the 5 guidance support secretary 3 positions that we brought this year. And lastly, if you will indulge me one final time, we have 2 retirements for the board to consider this morning. Kelly Hershiser is retiring from her position as a physical therapist with 22 years of service to the district. And Ann Roshan is retiring as an intervention specialist teacher at the Early Learning Center beneath us with 27 years of service to the district. Now, these retirements are effective at the end of the next school year, so collectively in the spring of 2023, Kelly and Ann will have served the Westerville schools for 49 combined years. Now, dating back from 2023, 49 years takes us back to the golden year of 1974, where the Ohio State Buckeyes kicked off the year with a January 1 win over USC in the Rose Bowl, led by Archie Griffin, who had just won the first of his 2 Heisman trophies. President Richard Nixon became the only U.S. president to resign as the Watergate scandal closed in around him. In 1974, the Mexican government decided to invest in building 9 hotels in a remote, unknown area named Cancun. By comparison, today, Cancun has a population of over 1 million people. Way back in the 1970 census, Cancun had an unofficial population of 3. And I'm not sure if those original 3 amigos are still with that million with them. In what became known as the Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali regained his heavyweight boxing title by beating the unbeatable George Foreman in Kinshasa, Zaire. Freeways were mandated to slow to a 55-mile-an-hour crawl. And Americans sat in movie theaters frightened by The Exorcist, bellowing in laughter from Blazing Saddles, and listening to the advice of Michael Corleone as he said to keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Who can forget Archie Bunker and Edith, Fred Sanford, Non Esther, or Hawaii's finest, Detective Garrett, telling his partner to book 'em, Dano. A little closer to home, the Westerville community continued to grow at such a rapid pace that it seemed as if a new school popped up every other year. Well, in 1974, Westerville schools opened the doors to 2 elementary schools, Mark Twain and Robert Frost. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
Barb, are you really good at history?
Well done.
Thank you for that. And you forgot that's the year I was born in West.
Well, that's when a couple of us started kindergarten.
Yes, we won't say
We
who.
won't say who.
Ready for a bit?
Yes, please.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
Dr. Nestor Baker?
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson?
Yes. May I have a motion for 8.6?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments here? Hearing none?
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Dr. Nestor Baker?
Abstain.
Mrs. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Did I say? Sorry.
It's okay. All right, moving on. We do not have any old business. We also do not have any new business. Recommended standing business, 11.1, a resolution declaring urgency and necessity for Phase 5 renovation of Westerville South High School. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
And Mr. Dorn is not with us, but Ms. Marshall is going to present today.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? I didn't check. Thanks. Yes, thank you, President Davidson, members of the board. So I have Mr. Dorn's narrative here. So this resolution is for the fifth of 6 renovation phases at Westerville South High School. The renovation of phases 1, 2, and 3 have been substantially completed and currently occupied, with phase 4 scheduled to be substantially completed by August 1st, ready for the start of the new school year. Phase 5 scope of work is located on the 2nd floor of the North Academic Wing, and in general includes converting 16 existing classrooms to 11 renovated classrooms, providing for larger and more inspirational instructional spaces, and includes adding 2 project-based learning areas similar to what has been constructed in phases 1 through 4. Bids were solicited in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code on May 16th and publicly read on June 28th. We received 2 bids, but because both bids exceeded the threshold of 10% above the architect's estimate, the Ohio Revised Code does not allow entering into a contract. Ohio Revised Code does allow the board to waive the competitive bidding requirements by declaring urgent necessity. The board, after declaring urgent necessity, can then proceed with awarding a contract to the lowest bidder in response to the solicitation. The lowest responsible bid was submitted by Place Services Incorporated in the amount of $2,909,900. Place Services bid is 15% over the architect's estimate. This includes all alternates, with the exception of alternate number 3, as referenced in the bid tab. The current schedule allows for construction to start on August 15th and to be substantially complete by March 10th of 2023, providing 7 months to complete the work. Place Services was a successful bidder for the renovation of phases 3 and 4 and has performed well to date. To maintain schedule compliance, it is being recommended that the board waive repeating the competitive bidding requirements by declaring an urgent necessity and accepting the bid from Place Services as presented. And I do want to mention that I had a conversation with Mr. Dorn about this, and the thought is we had the 2 people that returned bids. We don't anticipate receiving additional bids if we were to go out and rebid it. So we would recommend that the board approve it.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none.
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Dr. Nestor Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson?
Yes. Thank you. We do not have any public comments, which takes us to board comments. Would anyone like to say anything this morning?
I was just going to welcome you to our district, and congratulations to Carrie in all of the new movements.
That was it. Thanks. Yeah. Welcome.
Great, welcome. Dates, times, and location of our next meeting, July 8th. The board will meet in regular session on Monday, August 8th at 6 p.m. here at the Early Learning Center. And with that, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
Dr. Nestor Baker?
Yes.
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson?
Yes. And we're adjourned.